So a guy offered me $10,000 a month to be his sugar baby. So I was a freshman in college, you know, a little brokey, and I always was looking up ways to make like money online. So I came across this video on YouTube of this girl saying how she became a sugar baby. In the video, she explained that she met this guy through Seeking Arrangements. Seeking Arrangements is basically this dating site for sugar daddies and sugar babies. So in the video, I saw that the girl was saying like some guys, they'll pay just for your company and like you don't have to even kiss them or anything. I make my account and I get it verified. Time passes and I start getting mad messages from older white rich men. Yeah. You know, they were not cute at all because I don't like older men, but they had the big pockets. I started talking to this one man, let's call him Senor, because he was an older man. He was like in his 40s. He tells me that he wants to talk to me through FaceTime. I'm like, what should I do? What should I do? Ding! Oh my God, my phone camera is broken. And then he was like, whoa, why haven't you gotten it fixed? And I'm like, I mean, there's a reason why I'm on this website. And then I told him, like, right now I'm not working, so I haven't had the money. Mind you, that was a lie. Like, my camera worked perfectly fine. Me and him, like, got more comfortable. So comfortable that he told me, like, how much would they charge you to fix your camera? I don't remember how much I told him, truthfully. Probably like 100 something. And he's like, oh, okay, I'm gonna send it to you. He sends me the money. Next day comes and I tell him, like, I'm gonna go pay off my screen, but like there's really no point because my phone is not even connected. And he was like, why is it not connected? I'm like, because I haven't been able to pay it. And he was like, oh, how much you pay a month? And I'm like, oh, I just pay like $98. And he was like, oh, you like trying to scam me? And I'm like, no, I'm not trying to scam you, I'm literally just telling you the truth. He said, like, I'm gonna pay your phone bill, but once you get to the place, like, FaceTime me so I could really see that you're telling me the truth. One of my friends actually works in T-Mobile. I literally was like, girl, are you working today? And I basically tell her what happened. So I get to T-Mobile, I connect to the Wi-Fi, and I FaceTime him. So he sends me the money and everything, blah, 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 blah. So then my smart ass, I'm like, wait a minute. Let me tell him that I am late in payments, so I had to pay more. So I literally tell him, like, I'm here and they're telling me that I can't pay the month because I'm already late in some payments and I owe about like $300. I don't remember how much I said, but it was like around, it was more than 100. He was like, oh my God, are you serious? I was like, yes, I can actually put the representative on the phone if you want. He was like, no, you don't have to do none of that. But again, the only reason why he was like being so nice to me is because we had really like genuinely good conversations. He sends me the money and I'm like, all right, baby, my phone is paid off. Comes the nighttime, me and my friends will go like to this gazebo in our campus and like smoke. That day, my best friend came to visit me. While we're there smoking and joking, I tell them like the whole thing and I told them how I just made mad money. So then my best friend was like, all right, girl, say less. That's it. I'm gonna make my account. Comes the next day and my best friend's account is verified. So now we're both on this. She starts talking to this Asian man. That one was handsome. The one that she was talking to was handsome. He was like in his late 40s too. So I was telling my best friend, like, girl, we gotta go on a date with these men so we can really make that money. Because in the video, the girl said that she got paid for every date that she went on. So my best friend was like, oh, fine. Luckily, Senor was already fiending to see me. He kept telling me, he's like, girl, but like, when am I gonna meet you in person? And I'm like, oh my God, I'm actually free on Saturday. My best friend also tells the guy that she's talking to that she's gonna go on a date with him too. Senor asks me what restaurant you wanna go to. My favorite restaurant at that time was a Sugar Factory. So I told him the Sugar Factory. So like 2 days pass or whatever, and I'm talking to Senor. He tells me, like, is there any way I can send him like a sexy picture? And I was like, I mean, of course, babes. You just gotta pay for it. I go online and I get a picture of a girl that looks similar to me. And I send him a picture of her chi-chis. He's like, whoa, why can't I see your face? And I tell him, like, because at the end of the day, I'm just getting to know you. And he then sent the money. So then after that, he sends me more money. He's like, can I get like a picture of your back? And I'm like, yeah, of course, daddy. Comes Saturday and it's time for our date. My best friend and I, we get dressed like grown ladies because we wanted to look like older than what we are. Her date was before mine. So I go with her to like her date and I wait outside. She goes inside. There's like lounge that's on top of a hotel. The whole time she's upstairs, we're on the phone because God forbid, like, some crazy stuff happens. Like, I need to make sure, like, I can run upstairs and I get her. While they're on the date, they're there talking. He proceeds to tell her, like, I have a wife and kids, so I don't want like a serious relationship. I just want to take you out like on flights, and I actually booked a room in the hotel today, so me and you can like have fun tonight. My best friend said absolutely not, because at the end of the day, we are not trying to sell cooch. We're not even trying to kiss these men. We just want the money from them. She literally tells him like, will you excuse me? And gets up. Couple minutes pass, and I see my friend walking outside. So then I tell her, like, oh my God, girl, we still need to get money from him because you haven't gotten nothing from him. I'm gonna look him up on Facebook and see if I find pictures of like his kids and his wife. So I look him up on Facebook, and the man popped up. And who was his cover picture? His 2 little kids. And then I also found his wife's Facebook. I screenshot them and I tell my girl, like, babe, send this man these pictures and tell him, like, if you don't send me $10,000 right now, I'm gonna tell your wife. He responds with, you don't know who you messing with, girl. But just with that little message, I got scared. So I block him right there. Now it's time for my date. I get to the sugar factory and my date tells me, like, he's already there, seated down. I tell the host, like, I'm here with Senor. She looks at me like a little off because obviously I look way younger than him. And she takes me to his table. He stands up to greet me. In the pictures that I saw of him, he was a little skinnier. This man was thick. And he was my height. We're there seated down and I felt so uncomfortable. Like, I felt like all eyes were on me. My best friend was outside of the restaurant waiting for me too. We start talking and I tell him, like, so what's your arrangement? And he tells me, like, I'm willing to pay you $10,000 a month to be my girlfriend. And then he proceeds to say, like, that obviously would involve us having chaka. I, by that point, was so uncomfortable, bro, that I tell him, like, that sounds good to me. Like, I'm willing to do that. I get up and I tell him, like, I'm gonna go to the bathroom real quick, okay? Mind you, we were still waiting for our food. I ran out of there. Like, I literally sped walk out of there. And I tell my best friend, like, girl, run. My best friend's like, wait, what's happening? I'm just like, girl, just run. We hit a corner. I'm like, girl, he just offered me $10,000 a month. And she was like, girl, why did he take it? And I told her, because I'm not about to kiss this man. He wants me to be his real girlfriend. I'm not about to do that. And she started dying. She was like, girl, what made us think that we could really be these type of girls? After that, I blocked this man and I never ever used that website again.
Story time on how I caught my 5-year best friend hooking up for months with my 4-month relationship with my old boyfriend at the time. So let me just get this story straight. Let me kind of like give you a little backstory. So me and this girl, we've known each other since 2nd, 3rd grade. And this story is like set in like 7th going to 8th grade. My best friend was always like much more, you can say like outgoing. She would always like take risks, like she didn't care. She wasn't scared to do anything. And like with guys, oh, she went hands down with that shit. So obviously I knew she was a little freak, but obviously I didn't blame her for it. I was just like polar opposites, you know, like I was innocent, she was like a little freak. And one day I'm on a call with my boyfriend and my friend texted me and she's like, hey, like, I want to go on a 2-man with you. We haven't gone on one in so long. Like, it's been forever. Let's do it. And I haven't hung out with this girl in a fat minute. Like, I'd known her in elementary school. After elementary school, we went to different middle schools. So it was like, we were not really connected at the time. And I still knew her, like, and we still talked, but we haven't, like, seen each other in, like, a fat minute. Like, we still, like, talked, we still updated each other on stuff, you know, like, we were still best friends. But we weren't just as close as we used to be, you know? But one day, I was on the phone with my boyfriend, and she asked me, hey, do you want to go on a 2-man? Because we haven't went on one in so long. And I was like, oh my God, my boyfriend's best friend. Like, I read the message out loud, and my boyfriend was like, yo, my best friend's looking to go on a 2-man. Like, maybe we should go on a 2-man. And I was like, fuck yeah, let's go on a 2-man. So I haven't seen this girl in forever, and I see her, and I'm like, oh my God, hey girl, like, how are you? And she's like, oh my God, hey, like, I haven't seen you in so long, I missed you so much. Like, right? Like, we're rebonding. Like, we're literally reunited. And I'm with my boyfriend too, and she meets the new guy, and it's like, they're going great. Like, we've been on FaceTime all together before. The 2-man, sorry guys, the 2-man, we were all like on the phone together before the 2-man. Like, we knew each other pretty well. But in the middle of the hangout, like, it's going great. I think it's going great. I'm having so much fun. I leave to go to the restroom for like a couple minutes. My best friend doesn't like want to come, so I'm like, okay, whatever. I'll just go to the restroom myself, like, you know, right? And so they're just all alone, and we're at the mall, and they're just all alone, and I'm in the bathroom for like 10 minutes, like I'm doing my makeup, whatever. And so I come back out, and then my boyfriend has like this really like weird expression on his face. And then her guy, he's just kind of like looking away. Like he's like this. And my best friend just has like the biggest smile on her face. So I'm like, what's going on? And I was like, oh, do you look sad because you miss me? He was like, yeah. And I was like, wait, like, why are you upset? And so I pulled him over to talk, and he was like, I'm fine, like, leave it alone, like, I'm fine. I was like, okay. After that, the hangout became kind of dull, but it was fine because it was like the end of it. Like, we were all about to leave. We were all tired, so I kind of assumed it was that, but I also assumed that he was mad at me, so I called him afterwards, and we were on the phone, and the first thing that he tells me, he's like, I don't want you to be mad at me. I'm like, okay, I won't be mad at you. He was like, your best friend was, like, literally, like, all up on me, like, and I was like, whoa, what do you mean? Like, I was literally with you guys, like, the whole time. Like, what do you mean my best friend was all up on you? He was like, when you went to the restroom, my best friend, like, walked away for a little bit to call his mom, and your best friend was hitting on me. I literally was like, no way she would do that. I was like, no way she would do that. It's my best friend. Like, I've known her since, like, 2nd grade. She wouldn't do that to me. And he was like, I swear, like, and that's like, why am I in a bad mood? And I was like, okay. But I left it alone because I did not want to start drama with this girl, especially because I haven't seen her in so long, and like this is the first time I've seen her in like a month or something, you know. But like now I know in my mind to like keep her away. Like I just like was like, she told me that she wasn't really fucking with the guy that she was like with, so like we just won't go on a 2-man again because I don't want her like to pull anything on my boyfriend, so it's fine. We just won't do anything with my boyfriend again. It's fine. Now, like, we won't get into any beef. It's fine. I knew that they had each other added, but, like, I didn't know that they were texting. I thought that they had each other added for, like, photos and shit from the group chat. And now I'm, like, in 8th grade. And so I'm with my boyfriend, and we're still together. Like, now it's, like, 5 months, 6 months, something like that. And my best friend she started going to the same, middle school as me when I was in 8th grade. And I kid you not, I literally thought nothing of it because my best friend, like, I haven't, like, heard of the situation in, like, months, like, you know? But I was just so happy that she was here, and I'm so happy that, like, I got a friend, like, at my school. One day, I see them literally, because in our old school, we had, like, these bathrooms that were for the staff, and they had, like, multiple stalls, but, like, literally everybody snuck in there, you know, like, it wasn't really, like, for, like, the staff. Like, it was mostly for the students. Not really, like, students were allowed in there, but, like, nobody went in there. So my best friend and my boyfriend, I remember I was walking downstairs to go use the restroom, not the staff restroom, like, the actual restroom that I needed to use. And so I see them, and they're walking side by side, going to the staff restroom. And this staff restroom is literally known for people doing stuff. And so I saw them walking, I was like, hey, guys, right? Because I didn't really know what else to say. And they were literally about to, like, walk into, like, the hallway for the staff restroom, and in that hallway it's literally like kind of like a dead end, so it's like this, it goes like a box, and the staff restroom is like on the side, so like they would just go in there and go in the side, and they were literally right about to walk into that hallway, and I was like, hey guys, and they turned around with the most scared face on their lips. They're like, oh hey Millie. And my boyfriend, like immediately walks up to me. He's like, hey, my love, like, and hugs me. My best friend has the nastiest look on her face. She looks like she wanted to strangle me with, like, all the force in her that she could. He hugged me like this. I hugged her, like, him like this, and my head was, like, above his shoulder. I saw her face. She was like this. Later on, I kind of got a little bit suspicious because what the fuck was that? And I've seen them later on walk with each other in the hallways like multiple times, and they would always have the same thing always happen. And one day when me and my friend were at the lunch table, I remember she went up to go leave because we had like different lunches, and me and my boyfriend didn't have like the same lunch period at the time. And so we had different lunches, and me and this girl had the same lunch together. So she left her phone on the table, and I knew her password. I was a little bit suspicious, and I was like literally just trying to get the weight off of my chest. Like I knew that I knew she wouldn't do that. Like wada. So I went through her phone, and I looked through every single platform where her and her boyfriend, and my boyfriend could have been messaging. I'm talking Snapchat, TikTok, Instagram, WhatsApp, Facebook, Twitter. Like, I'm not joking. Like, they had each other added on everything. Instagram, I don't know if I said that. But literally on Instagram, I went through his DMs, and I saw him reply to her story saying, oh my gosh, like, I wanna you right now. This was like at 11:59 at night. I was asleep and this was on a Tuesday. What the fuck? Like, what the So I'm like, oh my god, there is no way that they're not texting more on like different accounts. I go on WhatsApp. I look through their messages. It's all the times that they hung out when I didn't know. Like, this is like during the summer 7th going to 8th grade. They were hanging out and they were hooking up for months. Months. Like, literally, like, I was like, what the fuck? And I saw like nudes. Like, I literally could not. Like, I was so mad. My best friend comes back. I'm holding her phone like this. I look at her, she like walks up. I look at her and I fucking turn the phone around. She stands there like, and I'm like, what the I got into a whole argument with this girl in the cafeteria. Ended up being so bad that I got sent to the office. It got all resolved. We like just kind of told the office like some bullshit story. After that, I went to my boyfriend in school and I slapped him across the fucking face. I was like, what the fuck is wrong with you? He was like, what? And I was like, are you fucking kidding me? You were fucking hooking up with my best friend for months. The whole school is watching at this point. The administrators are coming and we're just yelling back and forth at each other. Like, and I've never seen him yell like that. And then it got to the point where he literally pushed me and I was like, oh hell no. I like slapped him again. And then the administrator came and I was like literally like about to full on attack this boy and this little girl, but I couldn't because of fucking administrator. I got suspended for like what, 3-4 days, and now they're together. I hope you guys have a good like little life, because what the fuck was that? Also, by the way, girl, if he could do that shit to me, imagine what he's gonna do to you. Think about that shit, girl. You're not fucking stupid. And also, since I've known you since like fucking elementary school and you decided to ruin our trust just like that, fuck you. Go find yourself another girl best friend, because you know damn well none of them knew as much as I knew.
He wants to hear the story about the guy that I was seeing who was also seeing his sister. I meet this guy on Hinge, okay? He's gorgeous. Like, he looks just like Leo from Tell Me Lies, okay? Gorgeous. So he drives 2 hours to take me on our first date. And we had been talking for a couple weeks at this point. And this is right before or right after my divorce. So, like, I would never do this now. But I was like, okay, like, why don't you just, like, stay the night after our date? Girl, be so real. Do you think that's a good idea? No. I'll call him Tony. That's not his name. I was like, I opened my door, I said, Tony? And he looks up and starts skipping stairs to get to me. And he gives me a big hug and he has flowers. He was like, I'm so excited to, like, actually see you. And I was like, me too. And I was like, I'm finishing getting ready, like, come in, whatever. He takes me to dinner. He has a really nice car. He takes me to a very nice restaurant. I'm like, okay, this guy has his life together. He had gotten out of the military. I won't say which branch. And he was getting his master's. So I was like, his life is, like, put together. I'm obsessed. And the conversation is so good. And he's so interested about my interests, which is, like, not typical. A lot of people just don't want to talk about neuroplasticity and how cool it is. That's, like, one of my biggest interests. He was clocked in. He was ready, okay? He was applying for the job to be my boyfriend. And he's telling me about him, and he grew up on a farm in a southern state, and he was homeschooled. But, like, not the type of homeschool where you're with other kids. The type of homeschool that it's just you and your siblings, okay? And he has a sister who is, like, a year younger, 2 years younger. Anyways, so we finished the first date. He stays over. He's already texted me about our next date. He's excited. He's, like, really into it. So he says, why don't you come by me, which is by, like, Eastern, like, ECU. I think that was the school he was getting his master's at. And he was like, we'll do, like, some fun mini golf. I'll take you to this hot dog place, because he knows I love hot dogs. Leading up to the date, I was feeling, like, sketched out for whatever reason. For really no reason. He was great. But my, like, intuition was like, this is not good. But my heart was like, what are you talking about? Like, shut up. Ugh. I having fun, living life, hot. At the same time, there was that documentary about that guy. I can't think of his name right now, but he was in Call Me By Your Name. And there was a documentary about, like, all the girls that he had, like, SA'd. And, like, for whatever reason, I was getting the same vibe. And I was also getting the same vibe of, like, maybe he was going to eat me at some point. And I can't explain why. He never, like, gave me any reason to believe that he was going to eat me. But I started to really, really hone in on the fact that he was going to, like, hurt me somehow. So we go on the date. Date is so fun. But then at dinner, after mini golf, he was like, you know what? You look just like my cousin. And I was like, oh my gosh. Huh. And he was like, I mean, she's hot. I'm like, oh. Okay. He showed me a picture. I look identical. And then he's telling me how hot I am the rest of the night. And I'm thinking, oh, this guy wants to fuck his cousin. This is what this is. He wants to fuck his cousin. So we go back. He gets a hotel because he has a roommate because he's in school. He brings out things that I don't want. Wait, who are you doing that with? Because it ain't me. Like, dangerous things. Like, for the bedroom? I was like, this isn't like, no. We started having, like, pillow talk, okay? We're getting really deep into conversation. And he reveals to me that when he was in, like, 3rd grade, him and his sister got really curious. I'm gonna throw up. Girl. And I was like, huh? What do you mean by that? What do you mean by that? And he, like, really gets into detail of what they did from 3rd grade to a couple years ago. They were having a full-blown relationship. In just that one way. Okay? I really hope y'all are picking up what I'm putting down, okay? Him and his sister had relations for years. And I'm fawning at this point because I'm like, I'm actually in danger. This is not good. I've been drinking. I can't drive home 2 hours. And so I become a therapist. I'm like, oh my gosh, like, that probably really affected you, throughout your whole childhood. Like, do you think that's, like, brought into your adult your life? Like, I'm trying to be a therapist, and try to make him feel comfortable to just, like, keep talking. But I'm like, I really don't want to hear it, but what am I going to do? I got nowhere to go. So he tells me everything until he falls asleep. I'm driving home. He's calling me, and he's just like, I had so much fun. Like, I love getting to know you. And I'm like, oh, yeah, me too. So much fun. But I was like, you know what? It feels like you don't really have a relationship with God. So, like, I need that. And he was like, well, I also need someone that I can... But, like... I said, yeah, and he's like, yeah, you just didn't seem into, like, all the things that I was into. Yeah, because I'm not. Because most people aren't. I'm not going to yuck anyone's yum, but, like, yuck. Yucky. Yeah. No. Just because they look like Leo does not mean you should date them. No. Ugh. I'm so, like, honestly, this is embarrassing for me to tell.
Part 1 of the time a girl abandoned her daughter with me. Let's call this girl Leanne, because she's a liar. Prior to this incident, I already had beef with this girl. Because at one point in her life, like, we were cool. But she was always trying to be like me. She would pose like me, wear the same things I would wear. And other people would notice this. It wasn't just me that would notice this. Because before I even started to notice it, a lot of people were telling me. It was until she told me, like, I want to be just like you, that I was like, oh, okay, I see it. I then had some problems with her and we stopped being friends. But the whole time she was my friend, apparently she was friends with Lucy too. So she was telling Lucy stuff about my private life. So that's a little backstory on Leanne. Leanne had a daughter. That daughter was very close to my son. So one day, Leanne hits me up and says, "Can my daughter and your son have a play date today at your house?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure." She first tells me like, "Can y'all pick her up?" And I'm like, "Babes, you're the one hitting me up. You could drop her off." And again, I wouldn't be so hostile if me and her, like, were cool. But we already have, like, a rough patch. So it's like, you're too comfortable right now, mama. She says she doesn't have anybody to take her daughter to my house. So I'm thinking, like, babes, then don't bring her to my house. I told her, like, I have a friend that's an Uber that I know that could bring your daughter over here if you're comfortable with that. And I told her, like, it's gonna be this amount of money. She said, like, yeah, I got it. So I hit him up and he goes, picks up her daughter. While he's on the way, I hit up the Uber and I'm like, "Hey, babes, she paid you, right?" Because Leanne's a little liar. So anything she says, I always like double check. He tells me, "No, she didn't pay me nothing. I just thought you were going to pay it." And I was like, "Oh." I hit up Leanne. I'm like, "Babes, you didn't pay him nothing?" And she was like, "Oh, let me hit up my mom," because my mom was the one that was with my daughter when he picked her up in the house. So I replied to that and I said, "So you sent your kid without knowing if the Uber was paid when I told you that you had to pay for it? I'm gonna have to now go to the ATM and take out money to pay this Uber." I just wanted to see what she was gonna say because, like, girl, like, what if I didn't have the money? And she says, "Red." She left me on red. So I was like, "Oh, all right. Maybe she'll hit me up. Whatever. The Uber driver comes to my house and I tell the Uber driver, like, "Did Leanne ever, like, hit you up or anything?" And it was like, "No, like, I thought you were really gonna pay. Like, she told me that you were gonna pay." So I paid it. I was like, whatever, I paid it. Time passes throughout the day and it hits 9 o'clock in the night. Leanne still hasn't hit me up. So I hit her up and I'm like, "Hey, babes, it's 9 o'clock. Like, when are you picking up your kid?" And I had a reservation at 10 p.m. So I'm like, "I gotta go." She replies and says she doesn't have anybody to pick up her daughter from my house. And I'm like, "All right, babes, it's 9 o'clock. That's not my problem. Like, what are you planning to do?" I then tell her, "Do you want me to tell my Uber driver again to come pick her up and to take her to your house?" She says, "Yes, but tell him like at 9:45 so I can get home first." I disregard her message and tell her, "Babe, he's on his way. Send him your location." Right there, I hit up that Uber driver immediately and I told him, "Come to my house to pick up her daughter. She's gonna send you her location right now." She then says, "By any chance, is the restaurant that you're going to," because I had told her I have a reservation at 10 p.m. "Is the restaurant that you're going to by the Providence that I'm in so you can just bring my daughter to me instead?" And I was like, "Yes, but girl, the Uber's on the way to pick up your daughter." And then she says, "I hit up the Uber. He's just not replying to me." Right there, I hit up the Uber because remember, Leanne's a liar. And I tell him like, "Hey, she hit you up. Why are you not replying to her?" He then sends me a screenshot of their chat. In the screenshot, it showed that he sent the last message and she left him on red. Then I hit her up and I tell her, "Babes, the Uber driver just sent me a screenshot and you're the one that's not replying to him." She disregards the fact that she just lied and says, "I just replied to him." The Uber driver then sends me a screenshot of Leanne telling him, "Drop him off at my house. My mom is gonna be there and I'll pay you back tomorrow." And I hit her up and I tell her, "How are you gonna tell a guy that you just met that you're gonna pay him back tomorrow? Like, are you okay in the head?" And then I ended the message by saying like, "Babes, is it that you don't have the money again?" And she said, "No, I don't have the money." And I know she only said that because she wanted me to pay. Ooh, I added too much red. She wanted me to pay the Uber driver again. And I said, "Oh, well, I don't know, figure it out, because he's on his way." She leaves me on red. The Uber driver gets there and I'm like, "She hasn't told you nothing?" She's like, she's on mute right now with you? And he was like, "Yeah, she's not replying to me." The Uber driver's pissed and he told me like, "I'm not leaving your house until that girl sends me the payment, because I'm not about to get to her house and have her say that she doesn't have the money again." So I hit her up and I was like, "The Uber driver's here. He's not leaving until you confirm that you're gonna pay or you send him the money or something." She replies and says, "Are you serious? Such a big show for such little money?" I said, "Exactly, such little money. If it's such little money, you should have the money for it right now because it's such little money." She said, "Send my kid. I'll send him the money to his debit card." I showed him that message and the Uber driver was like, "All right, I'll take the kid." An hour and a half like passes by and the Uber driver hits me up saying like, I'm outside of her house and she's not even here, and she don't want to pay me the money. So I hit up Leanne and I tell her off. I basically tell her, like, how you gonna send your kid to my house and not even have the money for it? Like, this is so embarrassing. You're a disgrace of a human being, because this is your kid you're talking about. And you don't even know this man to be saying like, oh, I could pay you tomorrow. You should be embarrassed of yourself. I'll show you guys the actual message that I sent her in the YouTube video. She doesn't reply to that. 15 minutes after I sent that message, I got a message from a random number in my WhatsApp. And it's a long ass essay from someone cursing me out, basically trying to fight me.